Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Uncensored with myself, Adam McCullough, and that man right there, Joe Smith. We are in San Diego, which was invented by the Germans in the 40s, and it means a whale's vagina.
Is that true?
It is true, yeah.
It probably is true. We've got loads to talk about today, though.
We
We're going
have.
to talk about what we've been doing, what's going on the tour, a little bit of fun stuff, of course, but I think we should talk a bit about some transfers. United seem to be stepping it back up after... There's a bit of a lull, wasn't there, after the Euro transfer? There's, do we want De Ligt, Branthwaite, Everton are being taken over? No, they're not. Who knows what's going on? Feels like we're going back in. McTominay might be on the way. Wan-Bissaka spoke about it on the news. Ugarte as well. And a bit more about behind the scenes. People loving Ruud van Nistelrooy. People loving what's going on at Man United at the minute. And talk about just how close we are to having this new setup complete. Because it seems like every other day we've got a new coach or a new this or that or the other.
Yeah.
But it feels like we're getting there now, doesn't it?
It does,
feels like we're getting there.
It does.
It does indeed. Should we start with some transfers?
We can do.
Yeah?
Let's go.
Should we talk about where we are a little bit as well? Look, poolside.
We are like just hovering dangerously over the pool.
Yeah, we are a bit.
Like the back of my seat just takes me out over there.
It's quite nice though, isn't it?
It is quite nice. We're so lucky, aren't we?
Yeah, and it's
Look at the things we get to do.
what seems to happen in the mornings.
Disguise work.
I know it is true. In the mornings in San Diego, it's like it always starts cloudy like this, and then it goes. The sun bursts through, and by about 10:30, it's just delicious hot sun to the point where my face is completely burned.
What we're doing later on today as well. Have you told the people at home?
No, we're going to go on a boat party later, so we'll have to talk about that next week,
Yeah.
depending
Can't wait for
on
that.
how much debauchery Ethan gets up to.
I think Ethan gets up to a lot of debauchery
Yeah, me too.
because he's been holding it back a little bit.
Yeah,
But I think he's going to unleash
yeah.
on San Diego.
I think we're going to be using Ethan himself as one of those things where they pour the vodka down him. And
Yeah.
and then all the other people at the party are going to be drinking vodka from wherever it falls off him.
Yeah, he'll be like
A
like
vodka
one of those,
luge.
you know, those ice statues.
An ice
like
luge.
a really like expensive party that you go to.
Yeah.
Thrown by some Russian gangster on a yacht.
Yeah, who you're not sure if they're a gangster or if they're someone who's sort of into politics.
Have you seen those weird parties where like like these rich people will have like actual human beings be the table?
But they're just on their hands and knees
And
like
they've just got food all over them and they're lying on the table. And
like a
people
dirty
eat.
sphinx.
Yeah, they're weird parties, man.
Yeah, but that's what happens though, innit? When you get so rich and so powerful, the only thing you can enjoy is making other people feel shit. That's weird, that, isn't it?
Isn't that like the whole... was it Squid Game? Where it's rich people just watching.
Is that
them?
in from SpongeBob?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Squid Game where they watch... Is it Hunger
Hunger Games, yeah.
Where the rich people are watching...
You kill each other.
Yeah.
And only one survives.
Mad, innit?
It's kind of, yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's talk about Ugarte then, because he's obviously seems to be the next step on the ladder, transfers-wise. Do you know much about him? Have you looked into him since we've been linked with him? What do you
Obviously,
think?
he was all right for Sporting Lisbon, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Is that correct?
Very good, yeah.
He was there at Sporting Lisbon, obviously at PSG now. He wouldn't be my first choice, but he looks like the ideal kind of profile of player that we need. Whether he's well suited to the Premier League or not, who knows? But it's good to see we're signing that kind of profile of player.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I'm doing nowadays, Joe, with these transfers and that, just taking him in my stride, man.
I've noticed this.
Whoever signs for us, just good luck to him and let's see what happens.
I've noticed that you've been doing this. You've taken that sort of what will be, que sera attitude, haven't you?
I'm not going to get all out there and get excited about signings anymore.
No. Because we've had as United fans in the last 10 years, I don't think any other club except maybe Real Madrid, but even then, they've gone a bit more like experimental with their signings. I don't think there's any club in the world who's had more like, this guy is a banker.
Yeah.
We are buying a world-class player right now. Ronaldo, Di Maria, Lukaku, Falcao, Pogba. Like, Varane, we will do it more than anyone. And most of them haven't worked out. So now we're getting people like Ugarte, who is sort of a not failed signing, I think that's harsh, but he's only been there a year, but a signing that didn't quite work out the way people wanted at PSG. And I think the latest news is that PSG are willing to accept a loan as long as there's an obligation to buy in there. They want to let him go. United seem to want him. But it's a player that, on paper, isn't a world-class player, isn't a world star. He's a bit younger. He's not had a great move to PSG. And yet, I think there's a better chance of him succeeding than the likes of someone like Angel Di Maria or people we've had in the past, because it's the profile of player that we need. And if he doesn't succeed, he's only 24.
And it's why you're buying someone as well.
Yeah.
You got to look at what are the reasons for you buying them. Are you buying them just because they're a high-profile name? Or are you buying them because you want to You know, a little bit of commercial success.
Yeah.
Are those things weighing heavy on your decision to buy them? Also, like, sometimes we get excited about signings, they're crap. Sometimes we go, oh, why are we signing them? And they're really, like, let's just see what happens. Let's give everyone a chance to prove themselves. 3 months ago, I didn't know who Lenny Yoro was.
That's true.
And now, he's winning us the league, baby.
I know. When he's back. We still don't know how long he's out for.
Shit.
It's a press conference today, so hopefully we'll find that information out this afternoon, probably around the time that this show comes out. So we'll hopefully know a bit more there. I think Højlund seemed like it was less serious, didn't it? He was in training yesterday, which is good news, because I know obviously Yoro's the new sign and you don't want anyone out for a few weeks, but Højlund is literally our first choice starting number 9. And he just scored an excellent goal as well. I thought flickers of Gareth Bale in that goal, you know. Anytime someone knocks it around the outside on the left foot,
I saw flickers of Van Nistelrooy against Basel.
Not bad.
Not the finish, because the Basel goal was from a really tight angle, and I think it's Ruud Van Nistelrooy's greatest ever goal for Man United. But the run, remember Sol Campbell chasing Ruud as well? Do you remember that? And he ran through and just scored against Arsenal.
And his hair's like flickering next to his head. Yeah, I know the one.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The strength and
Did
the
he lift
pace.
it over Lehman? Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Sol Campbell's coming for him.
Can't get you.
What a defender he was.
Yeah.
And then you just get through on goal. You're kind of always falling over. You keep your feet. What a goal.
Yeah, what a goal. And I thought Højlund looked really sharp before he came off. But I think that, you know, getting a new centre-back in was always going to be a priority anyway. I hope that maybe by the end of the season, Yoro's first choice. But I always expected it to be Martinez and either De Ligt or Branthwaite or whoever. Yoro's 18. Like, for a centre-back, that's a baby, innit?
Did you just spit on my forehead, or is it raining?
I think I might have encouraged God to spit on your forehead instead.
Oh, he loves it, him, doesn't he?
He does. Scott McTominay, your little mate, he looks like Fulham are going to be coming back in for him. They've just signed Emile Smith-Rowe, or they're about to sign him, and then they're going to come in for Scott McTominay.
I saw a tweet
apparently,
which said,
Darmish.
or like a story which said, if Fulham bid £30 million, and if Scott McTominay accepts Fulham transfer, the move could happen. I was like, really? That's groundbreaking news, isn't it?
I know, yeah. If they offer a good fee and he wants it and the club want it, it might happen. Shock horror.
Really?
But I think that 30 million is a weird
just given
number.
34 million for Emile Smith-Rowe, who hasn't played football in God knows how long. Look, I think Smith-Rowe is a really good talent, but he hasn't played football in a long time. Scott McTominay scored 8 or 10 goals last season.
Yeah.
Give us 60 million for him now.
And also,
we'll take 30, but give us 60.
What did Fulham pay for Pereira? Was it like 15 million, 12 million?
Yeah.
And I don't dislike Pereira.
I think that one we had a heavy like profit clause. You know, like if they sell him on, we get a certain percentage.
But I do think Scott McTominay is a much better player than Pereira for me. And not at everything, but in terms of you can play him every single week against any opposition, and he won't stand out usually, but you're getting pretty much the same thing out of him most weeks. He's very consistent in what he does, even if it's not world class. Whereas Pereira, there'll be games where he just completely go missing because he's a bit more creative, a bit more slight. I think they're getting a good player in Scott McTominay. And for most teams in the league, he'd be very, very helpful for them. Almost with a sort of, he's not as much of a specialist as Fellaini was, but remember Fellaini was an absolute nightmare to play against when you're playing against Everton one day. He was horrible to play against. And I think McTominay, certain teams you'll play against him and they'll go, we couldn't do anything with him. Like, he was just getting in the box, shots after shots, like that game against Leeds and stuff where he just absolutely
I do think it's time, though.
I think it's time as well.
I think it's time. Look, he can go and get first team football, play every single week, maybe improve a little bit as well. You know, enjoy himself as being the main man in a team. Yeah. And Man United can get a fee for him. Job's a winner.
Yeah, I think, and I think I feel like he seems like a decent bloke. And I know that people aren't fans of him and he gets a lot of stick, and I think
I'm not a fan of him as a player. I don't as a person, I don't know him.
But he doesn't come across as an arse to me. I know sometimes he's quite like, you know, I know what it takes to be at Man United. He's got that kind of thing about him. But he has been here since he was a kid. And he's not kicked up a fuss about not being in the starting team publicly anyway. I don't know what's going to be behind the scenes, but
because he can't, though, really.
Well,
he's not good enough.
I'm not saying that, but there are plenty of players who aren't good enough who still kick up a fuss. That does happen. And I think he's someone that has accepted his role, accepted what he does. He scored a load of goals for United as well. What was it, 30 odd goals for United?
There's the one goal against City, that will live with me. That's one of the greatest goals not the goal itself, but the experience of that goal and the celebrations and stuff. For those that don't remember, United beat City 2-0. We're 1-0 up. Ederson kicks his kick out quite short, and McTominay sticks it in over him. Great finish, actually.
It was first time on it.
It was just, I think it was the last game before everything got shut off for COVID. And I remember celebrating, and just for a moment, I just stood on my chair looking around thinking, we're not going to have this for a long time. The hairs are going up now just thinking about it. Like, it was such a fucking moment. That was, I don't know, that was one of my favourite moments. Like,
it was brilliant.
In Old Trafford.
Because we knew as well that everything was getting locked down, didn't we? Because certain things had already gone.
Yeah.
And it was like, we'll play this last round of games, and then we're probably going to have to stop doing this. And then we had a Europa League game away, didn't we, just after that? But that was the last...
half a crowd.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Was it against LASK Linz?
Something like that, yeah. But that moment, especially beating them as well, because obviously it's City in it, but just the goal, was it like sort of 35 yards out, first time, just sort of bent at him.
Then you look at his performance in the cup final. Again, like, I thought he was very good in that game. He was very good. And he was doing things that I criticised. He was doing things that I criticised him for not doing on a regular basis, which was like getting in people's faces defensively, you know, being good in the press. Because those are the things I think people assume he's good at because of the style of player he is. Yeah. But generally speaking, he does get found hiding sometimes behind, like, you know, taking the easy positions on the pitch where you kind of just out of eye shot of the opposition, and you know, and in that game I thought he was excellent. Like in terms of closing down the spaces to Rodri and all that kind of thing.
They're not the same player at all, but I think I can see Scott McTominay going to a team like Fulham and looking really good in a similar way to how Lingard went to West Ham and looked really good. Because I think Scott McTominay, when he's playing in a counter-attacking team and he's got space around him, and he's not playing against a high line with 6 different men on him when he gets the ball, and he's got to move it in a quick space, and he's arriving in the box, like getting the ball, playing it out to the winger, sprinting up the pitch, receiving it on the edge of the box, first time shot in. I think he could look really good for a team like Fulham. And like you said, I think sometimes if someone like Scott McTominay have a bit of a go at being a bigger fish in a slightly smaller pond, I think that would suit him well. I think he'd be good there. And
Fulham are doing something decent as well, I think. And the building a squad, I think Marco Silva is one of those managers that, remember when he first came around, he went, was it Chelsea he ended up at?
I imagine him at Everton. He didn't manage Chelsea.
No, was it Everton? Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
But he was always kind of. He was at Hull. He was kind of highly rated. Everyone was like raving about him. And then he kind of went off the radar a little bit. So I think he's done really well to kind of improve his stock.
Yeah,
he's a good coach to go and play for.
He is. Yeah. I think
they're replacing Palhinha though. Is he their replacement for Palhinha?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they've signed anyone else as well, but
it's not really
they're rebuilding that midfield, aren't they? Obviously, Smith Rowe can play a number of positions, but to me, he's not a winger. He's an attacking midfielder.
But Smith Rowe and McTominay probably occupy very similar positions.
The absolute blonde bombshells in midfield. That's going to be unreal playing against them. They're going to be. I know they're different height and stuff, but they're going to be two players that when we're playing Fulham, if you're not watching it at the ground, you will not know who's on the ball when they get it. You'd be like, no, it's Smith Rowe. He's got it wrong.
You know who used to be like that for me?
Go on.
Alexis Sanchez and Jesse Lingard.
Really?
Because of the trims, the hair.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, I sit at the back of the Stretford end, tier 2 of the Stretford end.
Same shape.
But the trims used to look very, very similar.
Yeah, definitely. I see that. Before we carry on, I just want to let you know that this show is brought to you by Manscaped. And if you use the code PaddockTour, you will get 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com. The link is in the description. But Manscaped, Adam, they are the absolute business when it comes to below the waist grooming. And actually, these days, pretty much all male grooming, aren't they? They're the top dogs.
They are the top dogs, Joe. And I mean, when we were coming out to, California, where it's hot every single day, there's some bars here. Yeah. We were out here thinking, we need to be Manscaped because it's hot. It's sticky, a little bit clammy in those nether regions sometimes. You don't want to be wilding out down there.
No, you absolutely
Who do you
don't.
think you are, Nick Cannon?
No, I don't.
Exactly.
I haven't had nearly enough kids to be Nick Cannon. I'll tell you what I will say, though.
And you won't.
I'm not going to be having
You've got
kids
no
if I
chance if you don't get Manscaped.
Peace. I tell you what, they've got loads of stuff. Obviously, the trimmer, we've all seen it before. The lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, brand new trimmer as well, with 2 different heads. So you've got the trimmer, which is like adjustable already, so you can go longer and shorter and slide the guard up and down, classic stuff. But then you've got the foil blade as well, which you can take out, bring it in, and go tighter than tight where you need to. Do you know, like, when you're trying to sort of, I've said this before, I think, but do you know where you can see like a sort of optical illusion on the page where the lines are sort of getting closer together, so it looks as though things are getting further away even though they're not? I've done that down there. So from certain angles, you think, well, the base of it looks about 2 foot away from the end of it, so it must be massive. And I've managed to do a sort of forced perspective trick so that anyone who sees it thinks, Christ, this guy's alive. And he's not. But they've also got loads of other stuff as well. The ear and nose hair trimmer, the Weed Whacker, which I use all the time, literally all the time. And the liquid formulations, the ball deodorant, the crop soother as well, which keeps you going, tops you up. Do you know if you're like, oh, I've been out at work all day. Shit, people are going for a few drinks at the bar.
The ball deodorant's good as well. And I've noticed you boys, everyone here is using their shed travel bag.
Yeah, constantly.
On holiday.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, so you get a shed travel bag as well to put everything in, and you get the boxer briefs as well, which are fantastic in the summer heat, but they're just fantastic all year round. That is the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. Click on the link in the description. Go and check out Manscaped, especially during the summer. I mean, any time of the year you want to look nice down there, but with these extra bits of heat knocking about, you need to feel good.
And tell the people at home, I got caught out yesterday. We were sprinting through the streets of San Diego trying to get to our car. I hop over a fence. Guess what happens?
Oh, yeah, shit.
Guess what happens?
Yeah.
The Gangulis are all out because my shorts got ripped.
Your shorts got caught. Now, can I just offer a situation here? Well, and, you know, maybe turn away now if you're slightly squeamish. Imagine if you had a long sort of thicket of genital hair. That would have been the thing getting caught on that fence. You'd have ripped your whole plums out. It would have looked like someone spilt a tin of tinned tomatoes backstage at a travel lodge breakfast.
And also, with them hanging out, it wasn't embarrassing.
No, it was gorgeous.
I had this wild bush down there.
Well, there was a flock of people came and stood and stared, didn't they? Admired your glimmering and glamorous ghouls. Thank you very much to Manscaped for sponsoring this show. Make sure you use the code PADDOCKTOUR for 20% off and free shipping. Your balls will thank you.
It's nice.
I want to talk a bit about what's going on above the manager in a second, but before that, staying with the midfield topic after Scott McTominay, Adrian Rabiot is a name that won't go away. So far at the moment, there's been some reports saying that he don't want to go to Liverpool. He's almost rejected a deal there because he wants to join United. Others saying that United are going to go after him this summer. Nothing concrete yet. It's all those sort of, those peripheral journalists where
he says, she says.
Yeah, where sometimes they get it right, but you're not going to sort of.
May as well ask my mum what's going on with some of these lot.
Well,
she doesn't have a fucking clue either.
I mean, Team Talk and Tutto Sport have been saying that.
Tutty Sport. Tutty Sport, Joe. Do you know what that means?
What does that mean?
It means it's shit.
Oh no.
Tutty Sport.
I don't know what that means. TuttoJuve.com.
Listen, the thing with Adrian Rabiot, as long as we get our deals done that we're supposed to in terms of the money we're spending, I don't think he's a bad replacement for like Scott McTominay in the squad. I genuinely don't. If we're getting who did we sign in midfield so far already?
No one.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we're linked with Ugarte, obviously.
That's it. So let's say we get a new Ugarte. That's what I was thinking of.
Did you not? Did you think we'd already signed someone?
Yeah.
You've been watching whoever.
You not talk about Ugarte all day. I thought the fucker was here.
You thought he played those last 2 games, didn't you?
Yeah.
You gave him man of the match against Arsenal. That's not right. How's that happened?
But like, let's say we get Ugarte, or someone like that, an Ugarte-shaped hole
defensive,
is filled.
tackling, ball winning central.
And then you let go Scott McTominay for 30 amps. And then Christian Eriksen leaves, potentially.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with bringing in an Adrian Rabiot as a squad player, as long as he's not the signing.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. I completely agree. I think he's a good player. He's been around long enough as well. He's one of them. What is he, 28, 29 years old? He's not
29 until...
Yeah, he's 28 till he's 29. But he's someone who's coming in, he's going to be, maybe the wages will be high, and that's the thing where United have to go, actually, we're not going to give you 300 grand just because you're a free transfer like we've done in the past. But if you can get him on a decent wage, he's someone that can do a little bit more than Scott McTominay in certain areas. And also, he's one of those people who's just brings a bit of a presence with him. I know some people talk about him being a bit of an arse and he's got a bit of a reputation, but I think last few years, if you actually look at the evidence that's come out, he hasn't really been particularly controversial. There hasn't really been much going on with him. He's just a decent player who plays pretty much every week for France, does what his mum says, like we all do.
What's wrong with that?
I do what my mum says.
I'm my mummy's boy.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with that. If I was a footballer, my mum would be my agent.
Hmm?
Definitely. Well, your mum might be my agent, actually. If
Your
she's
mum,
offering.
yeah, your mum will be mine.
And my mum can be
We do
your
mum
agent.
swap.
Let's do a little mum swap as agents.
Yeah.
We make absolutely no money at all in our careers. Because as long as he's
Well,
got a
well
roof
looked
over his
after.
head, he's all right.
Well looked after.
Yeah, exactly. Can you just get him a packed lunch every day? Make
Yeah.
sure he's looked after. But I think he's a good player, and he's someone that has been in and around that top echelon for nearly a decade.
Echelon's a good word,
It
isn't
is
it?
a good word, actually.
That's a fucking good word there.
Yeah.
What
it is nice.
what language is that?
Echelon.
Echelon.
I
So
mean,
that feels French,
it
doesn't it?
smacks of French, doesn't it?
Yeah, those
But
Frenchies
then also
love
it
it.
could be like
They've
one
got,
of them
they've got
Portuguese
some
things.
great words, haven't they?
France.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we English is absolutely littered with them as well, isn't it?
I know it's not a word, but it's like too long. Like that's like very echelon,
Yeah, it is.
isn't it?
Echelon. It's French.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
From the
Bravo to the French.
From the old French echelon, weirdly, funnily enough.
That might be the greatest French word of all time.
Oh, I don't go that far.
What would you say? Croissant is a good one.
Cantona.
That's not a French word.
Oh,
though.
is it not a French word? Huh. That's weird, because it seemed like he was French when he was playing
I think
for France.
it's something else. I'm sure he's got like his family's got some other stuff in him.
Really?
Yeah. So I reckon that's Portuguese or something like that.
Okay, well, sorry about that, everyone. Should we talk about what it's been like being here?
Classic.
Because I got to shake Ruud van Nistelrooy's hand the other day.
So did I.
And that's the sort of thing that...
Have you washed your hand yet?
Not this one.
I haven't.
I haven't watched either of them, but that specifically one because of Ruud. The other
Yeah.
one, I'm doing some. I'm saving the crystals for something else. But meeting Ruud van Nistelrooy is the sort of thing that is literally bucket list stuff for me. He was. Do you know when you first start watching football? Like my first season I've watched anything was 98-99 season, so I remember that. But I was too young to have like favourite players and stuff. I was 5.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. The first time I had a favourite footballer in my whole life was Ruud van Nistelrooy. I remember the signing. I remember chatting to my dad. We were on the little car park next to...
Do you remember going
Quick
through the
save.
failed signing?
I don't know if I do remember the failed signing.
Because I remember that as well.
Because we were going to
And then
sign
I
him
thought it
obviously
was
the year
done.
before, and then he did his knee. But I don't know if I have a memory of that or if I've sort of put that back in afterwards.
Because what happened was United so basically there's something come up on his medical and we don't want to sign him, and PSV went, you're talking shit, there's nothing wrong with him. And then he had a training session on television.
For
Like, there was
United?
like for PSV, and there was like a news reporter pitch side, and you just see him go down at the back of the thing screaming because he
Really?
does his knee, yeah. And then Fergie phones him and says, "Don't worry, I'll wait for you."
I absolutely love that.
Now
That's
that
mad,
doesn't happen.
that doesn't happen
That
now.
kind of injury.
There's no way you ring someone who's just done their ACL and go, we know that you're going to be fine anyway, and we still want you. And I feel like he's the best finisher I've ever watched with my eyes in my life.
Ever.
He's an incredible. He's the
Absolute
best
gun
finisher
man.
in the Premier League history for me. If you give him the ball from the penalty spot, well, inside the penalty spot, there's no one I would want on that any more than him.
Running
range
through
of
on goal.
He was just obsessed with getting shots away as well. Like if ever he get the ball to his feet, he's taking one touch, spinning his body round the ball somehow.
What's
and
your
putting it in the
favourite
back of
Ruud
the net.
van Nistelrooy goal?
Obviously, the Fulham one jumps out immediately just because it wasn't really like him running from the halfway line. But there's that one. Is it Charlton?
Why have you said it? I want
Is
to
that was
say
yours? Where Rooney's
of
on the right
Rooney's
side,
run.
and Rooney stabs the ball with the outside of his foot.
But you got to remember Rooney's run. You've started late in
Yeah,
that.
go on,
Rooney's
tell me
runs
first.
from the halfway line where
Yeah.
he runs through a couple of players. We got the blue shirt on
Yeah,
at the away end of the valley.
yeah, unbelievable.
And Ruud van Nistelrooy, the ball comes to Ruud with
Ruud's-
his back to goal, and he chests it away from goal,
And
and then hooks it. How does he get his leg
so
up there?
he chucks it in the air and spins. The ball's come from this
Yeah.
side, and he kicks it back
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the corner it
Yeah,
came
yeah,
from,
it's
over
so
his shoulder.
good.
It's
so good.
unbelievable.
So good.
Such a
The
good
Basel goal
finisher.
as well, another one. That's
Yeah.
unreal.
Is that the one where he's
Um,
on the real tight angle into
Yeah,
the top corner?
he just finishes it.
Yeah, he was an incredible finisher.
Incredible strike. And just for people that don't know what happened, we'll tell you what happened. We turned up to the open training session, and the media, people from media were asked to like walk to a certain part of the pitch.
Yeah.
But on the walk over, we see Ten Hag standing there. So we
Yeah.
think, all right, let's kind of stand around and see if we can catch eye contact with him.
Mm-hmm.
But Ruud van Nistelrooy was also there. I took a lovely picture of him in between the sprinklers. He was beautiful.
It was.
I don't even think those were sprinklers. Me and Joe got a little bit excited.
Yeah.
But then we kind of got told to
Heavy
go into
flow, that,
go
bloody-
into a corner, right? And we
Also,
didn't.
Darren Fletcher was there.
Yeah, Darren Fletcher came over to say hello.
Yep.
Actually, yeah. Thank you to Darren Fletcher actually, because he kind of made it possible. Because without him coming over to say hello, we then don't stop, and we kind of have to keep walking to that corner.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we look like weirdos.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
then while we were there, Ruud just came over and said hello to like people from Andy Mitten, Larry Whitwell, etc.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise it was being recorded.
No, I didn't.
So we've got that video.
We've got to put it in here, haven't we? Now,
We've
obviously.
got
Let's
that
get
video.
inserted. Sorry about that, Ethan. You got to edit that in.
Well, it's on Full Time Devils Instagram as well. If you haven't already seen it.
I think people we need to. I'm there with my hands behind my back because I almost
Clammy.
like I didn't want to put my hand out
Were
and
you
him
wet?
not shake it, so I waited until he was looking at me, and then I could of go a little bit late
Yeah.
almost because I needed to not get rejected by him. What a moment!
He
What a moment!
still looks good.
He
doesn't
looks great. He's a handsome bloke. He's got that sort of size to him as well. Probably 6'2". He's one of the bigger
I'm
boys.
a 6'2".
Yeah, similar to you. Same
Alright.
sort of size, but he's got a bit of a thing going
He's
on.
rude.
He's great. He's
He's
fantastic.
rude.
And apparently, one thing that a little bit of rumour that we're hearing sort of out here is that he's very nice with the players. And I don't mean like you wouldn't expect him to just be horrible and cold and mean, but I think people were slightly worried that he would be another bad cop to the team. But I think so far the impression from
He
the players
gets
is
the
that he's
pressure.
a good bloke and he's nice to people.
He gets the pressures of playing for Man United.
Yeah.
He knows it.
He's
He
one
knows
of the,
what these guys are going through.
yeah. He's one of the best strikers of the 21st century. So regardless of who you are, regardless of whether you're 15 or 16, 17 coming through, should I say, and you've never watched him play, you still know how good he is. Google him, YouTube him, all these players will respect him. You know, people can have a go at McLaren or Ten Hag or
150
whatever.
goals in 213 games for Man United.
Unbelievable.
Fucking hell.
Unbelievable striker. But it's just been really good being out here, hasn't it? What's been your favourite non-footballing thing that we've done since we got here?
Oh, we had a good night out with those spicy Mexicans, didn't we?
That's one of the most drunk I've been in a few years. That
was good.
I was so drunk that I didn't even feel sick. I just went to bed.
And to the people that didn't get to see us at Cosm, it was because we woke up late
Yeah.
from the night out, which
Yeah.
was pretty good.
We went to this place that was like a warehouse in the middle of.
Nowhere. I don't remember.
But I've
getting
never
there.
seen anywhere like it. Do you know on films where? Do you know when there's a zombie apocalypse
Yeah.
and everyone's driving out in their RVs, getting the family out the city,
But then they
getting
have to
say-
stop and run.
but then they have to stop and run, and that sort of abandoned convoy of
Yeah.
RVs was basically what we had to go past to get in, which I've not really seen anywhere before. I don't know what that was like. We had to get out there and then go into this place, and it was just hardcore techno the whole time.
A lot of
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
I
it was
can't do
brilliant.
that all the time, you know.
No, I
No,
can't. But as a
unch-
treat,
But I couldn't remember the night, so I must have had a good time.
I
like
felt
I
so
remember
bad the next
being
day.
in the first place.
yeah.
I don't remember walking to the second place.
No, me neither.
Like, there's that picture of you and Steve just rolling around on the floor.
Weirdly,
What did I say? I've never been that funny.
I don't know what it was. There's a picture of me and what we're gonna have to put in is a clip of being in there, and that picture of me and Steve pissing ourselves on the floor, because obviously we need to get
Yeah.
all the context in here, don't we?
Yeah.
But it was a fantastic night. I don't remember getting home. Jay said I spoke to him when we got back to the Airbnb. No memory of that whatsoever. What's that? A wasp?
Fly.
Flying the ointment. Yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic night. San Diego's gorgeous. We're going to South Carolina as well in a couple of days after the game. But before that, Real Betis at the Snapdragon. You excited?
Yeah, I love the Snapdragon Stadium. It was
good last time, wasn't it?
It was good fun.
What are we? Be honest. We spoke about it about 5 times, Adam. I'm just going to sit back in my chair so I can
Just
imagine
gonna close
it.
our eyes.
What are we most looking forward to about being at the Snapdragon Stadium?
Am I supposed to know the answer to this?
Before the game,
We play that game when we throw the bags in the
No.
holes.
we're not playing cornhole. The pitch, our ears and our eyes are dominated by
Oh,
what?
mate. You know what? You know the Snapdragon Stadium. They do an elite national anthem.
Yeah. Before every single game on the tour,
I
they play
turn
the
into
American
Donald
national
Trump when
anthem.
the anthem comes on.
And the one in LA, SoFi Stadium, one of the most incredible stadiums I've ever been in. Actually, it is the most incredible. Not necessarily my favourite, but to just look at the scale and what was going
I
on
think the
there.
49ers Stadium.
I've never
was
seen
the-
anything like
The
it.
Levi Stadium was probably the
Was
most
it?
incredible one I've been into. But it's up there.
Yeah. but their national anthem was played. No singer on the pitch,
Yeah.
no
Half-assed.
flags. It was just played like a polyphonic
someone's-
ringtone down
yeah.
through the mic. Last year at Snapdragon, singer on the pitch, a national flag that looked almost the exact same size as the pitch, and then when the anthem was done, jets flying over. If that happens again, I'm gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry as well.
It was absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. But
I'm
that'll be good.
proud to be an American. But at least I know I'm free.
We've been listening to that quite a lot, haven't we, since we've been out here? It's weird, isn't it? Because you start off with some of that stuff, sort of half joking and half mocking it, because it's a bit more patriotic than we are in England, isn't it? I don't think a lot of English people are just quite the same way.
Yeah, they love a flag over here.
They do, but then you find yourself actually going, why am I crying? Why are the hairs on the back of my neck standing to attention like me, myself as a human being? It's like you sort of can't help but get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Right. I think that's going to be all from us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, because we went to a Mexican place yesterday and we tried every little dip we could try.
Yeah. About
And
30
I
different
just
dips.
felt a bit of movement.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oof. Right, well, speaking of dips, I'm going to hit the pool.
You jumping right in?
Yeah, go on.
You play us out, Adam.
All right, nice one, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Stretford Paddock. This has been Uncensored. That has been Joe Smith. I have been Adam McCullough. This is San Diego, Wales vagina. We'll see you on a flip.